Hey everyone, it's Adrian. I've got Denika in the waiting room as we speak. Just before we get to the interview, make sure you've joined our Pageant Boss Facebook group. You can see it scrolling below if you're watching the video for pageantpreneurs, or if you're listening to this on the podcast after the fact, then the description will be in the show notes below. But let's get you to the interview. Hello, everyone. It's Adrian. Let's Okay, so I know what I'm doing. Okay, there you go. Dear me. It's Adrian from the Pageant Project, and my special guest for tonight's proceedings is actually a return customer, Denika Donnelly, all the way over in WA. Denika, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. How long has it been? We were talking about this earlier today. Is over 2 years?
2 years now. It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute. We were trying to remember our previous interview. I can only remember where I was and the software that we used. The only thing Danica remembers is that her lighting apparently was horrible. Was it really that bad?
From memory, it was quite bad. It was quite a yellow light as well, and it was quite a dark background. It wasn't great.
It's just the different things that we remember. So, guys, if you're watching and you haven't seen my interviews below, we're live for a reason. So you get to ask Danica any questions, or if you just want to send a message of support, and then I will definitely pass that on. But Danica, why don't you? I normally start with the easy question, which is give us an idea how you got into pageantry in the first place. Some of that obviously we would have covered in the first interview, but God, a lot of people entered in your current pageant may not even have been doing pageants 2 years ago. So why don't we assume that they don't know your story, and you let us know how you got into the crazy world of pageantry?
It's quite a similar story to what most people did. I was a dance teacher at the time, but it was a dance teacher at also a modeling school. So one of the girls that I taught with did pageants, and she wanted me to enter. And like many, I had those stereotypical thoughts of I'm not doing like toddlers and tiaras. I was like, absolutely not. She kind of pulled my arm a bit. I entered, fell absolutely in love with it, and 6 years later, I'm still here.
It's still here. 6 years. Has it been 6 years? So you had been doing pageants for 3 or 4 years before I even interviewed you the first time.
Yes, but I did have nearly, so when I went to Canada, I had a 2 year break. So by the time I went to RUM, it had been a 3 year break for me.
Oh, it's all coming back to me now. As that Celine Dion song goes. Okay, I remember that. I remember some of what we discussed last time. A lot of it was quite heavy. I don't know if that's the right word to describe it, but we certainly covered some topics that I don't mind discussing, but certainly I don't get to discuss very often in pageant land. Do you want to give the lovely people watching an idea as to which systems you've entered up to now, obviously including Miss Australia pageants?
Yes, so I did Miss Galaxy, which was my first pageant. That was a state. I've done Miss Diamond Australia, I've done Face of the Globe, I've done International United Miss, Miss Galaxy again, and now I'm in Miss Australia.
And you've actually represented Australia overseas already, haven't you?
Yes, I have. So I was Miss Australia for International United Miss. I was their first Miss Australia.
And how this was after we interviewed. I think I interviewed you in the lead up to that, if memory serves. I honestly can't remember. How did you find
Yeah.
the international experience?
Oh my God, it was incredible. It was definitely nothing like Australia because it was held in America. So America pageants is
Hmm.
quite different to Australian pageants down to how they walk. So I actually had a coaching sessions here in Australia and I had to change my entire routine and my entire walk because it was just not compatible with American pageantry at all. But it was a surreal experience. It was something I'll never forget. Just being able to, especially because I was the first Miss Australia,
Hmm.
I prepared myself for internationals. I hadn't prepared to how many people were going to know who I was when I got there. And just from the first day, everyone just, especially with the accent, it was just all the different categories, juniors, preteens, all the
Mm.
mums, families, everyone wanted to speak to me. So the first day was a bit of a shock because I was like, wow, like I just had never competed on such a level before. But after the first day, I fell right into it and just, it was fantastic.
Was it a bit of a case of get the Aussie girl to say something, where they were sort of poking you with a stick and say this, say that?
Yes, everyone just wanted me to speak. Everyone was like, just say anything.
Did they
Okay.
get you to say any phrases? Because the ones I get all the time are, oh, crikey. And now there's a shark in the water, a shrimp on the barbie. Did you get asked to say any of those phrases?
Shrimp on the Barbie, yes. Most people just wanted me to say their name or just like our twangs. How we had O to everything. Everyone just wanted me to, they'd give me a word and they'd be like, so how do you say it in Aussie language?
Yeah, I've been telling people that basically the Aussie accent is just a lazy one. You don't actually move your mouth. Like, how you going? Like, literally, you can say it almost as a ventriloquist, how you going? And then we shorten everything. Service station is
Yeah,
servo. Actually,
yeah.
your name's a bit unusual. Do you have any Aussie nicknames? What's your Aussie nickname? I don't have one. What do you have one?
Um, Not until recently. So most people call me D now. Um, I used to
Okay.
get Denny when I was in Canada. And Nika. So one of my close friends calls me
Okay.
Nika. But yeah, not I don't really have many nicknames. My name's kind of hard to make a nickname out of. D's really the only
Same.
one that really goes with it.
Yeah. Nika is cute. I get my podcast co-host, I told her that I don't have any nicknames and she called me AIDS. I wasn't okay with that. I don't think that's a good
Just
nickname
Danielle.
to have. No, this is the other one, Chloe. They're both crazy people in the best way. Guys, I can see a lot of you watching. I can hear you breathing. So please ask any questions or send any messages. Now, on that note, Michelle, who's over, I believe, in French Canada, actually probably close to where you spent a bit of time, he has asked, "What phase do toi, probably you, what phase do you find the most difficult in pageants?"
As in competition phase?
Yeah, probably.
Um, Probably swimwear, which in the past I've been quite nervous about. I'm actually really excited this year, but I've always just a huge thing for me, especially when I've competed in the past with pageantry, has been self-doubt. So for me, when I get into swimwear, it's always just the nerves are quite strong. But this year I've put a lot of preparation into my mental prep. So I'm actually quite excited to see how I go in swimwear and compare it to my growth of how I've previously been. So yeah, swimwear is definitely normally quite a nervous one for me.
Sure, that makes sense. Do you know Ava De Silva? She's over here in Sydney.
Yes, hi Ava, how are you?
So
Haven't
Ava said
spoken
hello
to
to
you in so
Nika
long.
and Adrian. So happy to see you. Well, given the 2020 that we all had, I haven't spoken to people who live in Sydney. They might as well be overseas for what good it is. And she has said your
That's
nickname should be Denny. Yeah, which
true.
did you have the Denny's fast food chain in Canada though? Because I know Denny's is a fast food chain in America.
It wasn't in my part of Canada. I don't know if it was in anywhere else, but I have had it when I've been in America. So I have had it.
Okay. What's the verdict on Denny's? Better or worse than Macca's?
I know, I think they're all the same, really. I don't really like Macca's, so
Okay, the look on your face is not really selling it. Danica was in my magazine in 2019. I loved
I
her
love.
story. Uh,
Oh, thank you.
well, I mean, Danica has a very interesting and involved backstory. Certainly lucky to even have you here, I guess, at the moment. But if we sort of forego that for the moment, because I'm going to say, like, if you really want to find out about Danica's story, you could watch my previous interview. Um, I'm going to ask instead, since I last talked to you, the world has done a few turns. We've had a worldwide pandemic, etc., etc. Um, how have things been? How have you changed? How are you evolving leading into this pageant versus when I spoke to you like 2 years ago?
I'm a completely different person this pageant round. And I don't really know if it's because of the pandemic. I think it's definitely last year I competed in Miss Galaxy, and that
Mhm.
was we came out of nationals pretty much like a week or two before we went into lockdown.
Yeah.
But I placed top two, and that for me was the biggest wake up call in the fact that up until that point, whenever I compete in pageants, I've always said to myself, you'll be lucky if you get top 10. We're going to aim for top 10. I never really believed I could
Mm.
do anything more than that. And I've always been someone that self doubts. I've always been someone that compares myself to other contestants. Like, scroll through Instagram, I follow everyone, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't compare to that. I look at previous queens and I'm like, I'm not on their caliber. Especially for Galaxy, I thought, this is my first time at
Mm.
nationals. It takes quite a few times. So I just counted myself out. Coming first runner up was a massive wake up call in the fact that I said, everyone else around you believes that you are capable and you can do this. You're the only one stopping yourself. It's just you that doesn't believe in yourself. So this time around, I did a lot of time to reflect and write down what my goals in pageantry were, what I wanted to achieve if I was to become a title holder, and what was holding me back. And I worked through that, especially with my self doubt. For example, one of the things is following all the girls on Instagram and comparing myself.
Mm.
This time around, I didn't follow anyone because if I wasn't following anyone, I couldn't compare myself because I wasn't watching what they were doing. It was just my journey I was focused on. So being in this pandemic and meaning that the pageant has been postponed so many times, it's given
Mm.
me extra time to prepare as much as I possibly can, both physically but massively mentally. And I'm a very confident person now compared to what I've ever been in the lead up to a pageant.
Well, I'm glad to hear it, first off. Secondly, you do sound like a different person. You're speaking with more confidence, which I like to see when I haven't spoken to someone, face to face anyway, proverbially speaking, in 2 years. It's good to see that there is progress. I've talked about the self-doubt a lot in the Pageant Boss podcast over the last month or so. I mean, it's only been a month, and I've observed that success by itself doesn't get rid of imposter syndrome. In fact, it can make it worse because if you come top two, suddenly you're like, oh God, now people are really going to find out that I don't belong here. So, how did you overcome the self doubt? I mean, I don't think it's ever completely overcome, but you can deal with it better. What sort of things did you do to help you overcome the self doubt?
Well, firstly, like I said, I made sure that this time around I focused on myself. So I didn't follow anyone. The only girls I really followed were girls that I was already following through previous pageants.
Hmm.
I did a lot of mental preparation. I listened to a lot of podcasts and manifested a lot. I was focused on what I want to achieve. And a big thing for me as well, I didn't really have direction previously. I knew
Hmm.
what I wanted to talk about as a platform, but it didn't really have any substance or value to it. And the fact that I wanted to share my story, which was all great. And sharing my story, I did have people reach out to me and say that they found me as inspiration and they connected with
Yeah.
me because I had similar stories. But talking wasn't enough for me. I wanted to be able to put action into that.
Hmm.
So I definitely
Yeah.
sat down and I thought, because I have, if you've heard my background story, go back and listen to the previous interview, you can hear all about it. But I've been through quite a lot. And because of that, I was so passionate about so many different things, but they didn't have
Mm.
quite a pinpoint to it. And because of that, I didn't really have any direction with my platform. So I sat down and I thought, what kind of combines it all so that I can have one thing? And for me, that was that through everything that I've gone through, I learned how to empower myself and how to become a very strong individual. And I wanted to use my story to empower others, which I just hadn't pinpointed up until that point in time. So I realized that how I felt empowered was through confidence, resilience, and self love. And I turned that into my own little segment on social media at the moment because that's how we're connecting right now. So I have a self
Yeah.
hype Sunday segment that every Sunday I feature someone and they talk about their personal story as well. So it's not just me, it's involving more people. And
Mm.
now I have a plan to go even further with that, which I haven't actually announced yet. Um, but that's what I'd hope to do if I was a title holder. I do have plans in the pipeline to take it to more of a community and to make it more of a platform where people can go and learn how to empower themselves and learn how to empower other people and create essentially a sisterhood that pageantry has, but
Hmm.
for everyone to be involved in so that I can empower more people through my story, but other people's stories.
Right. So it won't exclusively be a pageant platform. It will be open to everyone.
Absolutely. The one thing for me that I wanted I don't know if people know my age, but I'm nearly aging out of pageantry. And what I did in pageantry, I don't want to just stay in pageantry. I didn't do it just for the glitz and the glam. I did it because I see it as my purpose in life. So my plan is, regardless of if I walk away this nationals with a title or not, I am still going to put into action what I have.
Nice. Where were you doing the self-hype Sunday? Was it on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube?
It's on my Instagram. So it's shared in a highlight if anyone wants to go through and look at all the previous features that I've
Mhm.
had. It runs every Sunday.
I'm just annoyed with the Instagram algorithm because it never showed me any of it. So I'm like, and I follow you, so I'm like, why? Anyway, this is news to me. I'm like, could you not have showed me this? It ends up showing me a
The
whole bunch of stuff
algorithm.
that I really couldn't be bothered seeing. Ava has asked, is competing in America different to Australian comps because I'm about to compete in an American system in June?
It's very different. Definitely do your research before you go over. So I was lucky enough with IUM, they have uploaded videos of previous
Hmm.
competitors competing. So I could look at the routines. I would say it's a bit more of a dance style, I guess. I think when you compare the walks, Australia is a bit more modelly in the sense that it's a bit more poised, but in America, there's a bit more room for kind of like slides and glides and things like that
Hmm.
that you put in, a bit more twists and turns, and it's a bit more, I don't know, a bit more over the top with your face, I guess. So that was for my pageant. So I definitely had to do my research and look back at what other competitors had been competing in for
Yeah.
their routines. And I completely changed my routine from what I had, because my routines did not stand to how they were walking
Hmm.
and what they were doing. So definitely do your research, see if there's anything out there on how they compete. Each system's going to be different. So, and each system's going to be looking for something different as well. But yeah.
Yeah, Ava, do as Danica said, do the research because there are so many systems in America that you can't give a blanket answer. I will say the standard of competition in America, prepare for it because some of these girls, to give you an idea, I was coaching someone and they were competing for a prize package of $60,000. So you can imagine when you're competing for a prize package of $60,000 US as a scholarship, you're going to be attracting extremely high caliber candidates. So if you're still watching, maybe let us know which system you're actually competing in, if you can. But I say, well, everyone looks at American pageantry as sort of the mecca of pageantry. So you just got to be prepared for that because it's a lot bigger than it is here in Australia and the UK, if
Oh,
anyone's watching in the
absolutely.
UK.
The American girls
Shan,
prep.
yeah, particularly with interview, walk is one thing because you can sort of change it as different styles, as you said. But when it comes to interview, I can interview an American teen and they interview better than Australian Miss or Mrs. or Ms. contestants. There's no comparison. And that's not an accident. It's because they've done so much practice. In fact, one of them, who I just had on my podcast, her coach has told her she'll do a lot better as a Miss because even as a teen, she interviewed so I don't want to say maturely, but she didn't say like and and all this stuff, and she didn't fiddle with her hands. She really came across as a miss rather than a teen. So just prepare for that level of competition. Chantel, do you know Chantel? I assume so because she said yes,
Yeah.
girl.
Yes, I love Chantel. Hi. She's been a
Chantel
great
just
support for me this time.
Yeah, she's one of the good ones. Chantel commented under my Instagram post about the 10 pageant things that the only one she didn't do was overly fake tan. So congratulations, Chantel. You scored yourself a solid 9 out of 10. Brooke here has said, go Danica, Queen.
Hi,
Uh,
Brooke. Oh, I can't wait to meet you. Long now.
and now Chantel is saying, hello, lovely. So proud of you. So there you go. Have you guys, if you have any questions, by all means, go and ask. Danica, have you been up to the Gold Coast?
Yes, I nearly moved to the Gold Coast actually when I was younger. My family wanted to move
Oh,
there and I stopped them.
yay, Gold Coast. I was just asking because when I have lived in the Gold Coast and I just realized when I was looking at the Miss Australia pageants, looking at the tickets, the place that you're competing at, the resort or the hotel, it's literally my backyard. It was like right next door to where I used to live. And or the shops that are near where you're going to be competing. That's where I used to go and have my coffee, and that's actually where I wrote one of my books. So it's like it's so
Oh,
weird. I kind of
wow.
wish I was still up there because I wouldn't even have to drive. I could just walk to the competition. So it's very, very cool.
Maybe it's a
Um,
sign. Maybe you're gonna have to come.
am I allowed to try? Oh God, because literally, with COVID, it changes day by day. Because we've just had a case of
Yeah.
community transmission here in Sydney. So we have to again wear masks on public transport and indoor shopping. I was curious about the indoor shopping stipulation because I was like, isn't all shopping indoor? I mean,
Yes, that's very true.
like,
Unless you're at a
when's the last
market.
time you shopped outdoors? Yeah, that's what my mum said. But I was like, what do you mean shopping indoors? Um,
Yeah.
how are how are the emotions this close to finals? I mean, it's less than a week away. I mean, you're flying off on Tuesday, are you?
Yes, I fly out Tuesday morning, so I'm getting there a day early because the pageant starts on
Okay,
Wednesday.
good. How are you feeling? I mean, you seem relatively relaxed, which is great.
I am, and I think it comes down to the fact that I'm so well prepared
Mm,
that that's what's been quite well this time around, where I know what I've done and I'm confident in what I've done, but it's always nerve-wracking. It's always nervous going in. But I'm mostly excited more than anything because we've been part of it for 14 months now. I think I entered 14 months
mhm.
ago. We've really gotten
Yeah.
to know the other girls. Like we've really clicked and bonded, especially because we've all been through this crazy experience. So it's exciting to meet everyone. It's exciting because I'm a completely different person going into the pageant that I can't wait to show everyone, but I can't wait to be able to compare my growth to what I've done previously. Like I'm very excited for that because that's going to be one of my little achievements that I've wanted
Mm,
for this nationals. But yeah, I think I'm more relaxed than what I should be,
mm.
but we'll see. I think
No,
closer to the
no, no, no.
time the might come
No,
in.
no, I'm not saying that to say that you should be nervous. It's actually what I've told a lot of people is that if you've done all the work you can, and you certainly sound like you've done a lot of hard work, when it actually comes to game time, you got to put on your game face. You might actually be relaxed because you know at that point you've done everything you can. And if it doesn't go your way, it doesn't go your way. I mean, just because you do the hard work doesn't mean everything's going to go your way. But the only reason to panic is if you haven't done everything you could. And let's be
Yeah,
honest, if you're not prepared for a pageant by this time after you've had the amount of time that you've had, you're probably never going to be prepared. I mean, you've been in this one
no,
for over a year. We've got these crazy situations where the national title holders have to hand over their title before they've competed international. Like Galaxy, if the Galaxy girls can't get to Galaxy International, which is only in 2, 3 months' time, then we're
yeah,
going to have end up having three Australian title holders at the same time who haven't had a chance to compete overseas. So it's been difficult in pageant land. Brooke here has a question. Hello, lovely, killing it. What is your favourite part slash section of judging in Miss Australia, and what's your favourite outfit? So, favourite part, favourite outfit.
I think everyone knows my favorite part's interview. I love interview, which is not a typical
I could never
answer,
tell.
I think. Yeah. I just love being able to sit down and connect with the judges because yes, they follow you through social media, but until you get to sit down with them and they get to ask you the hard questions, seeing you on stage is one thing, they get to see your confidence and
Mm,
how you present that way, but they don't really get to hear your story and why you want to be in that position and why they want to make you a title holder. So I like sitting down and connecting one on one and just being able to talk and yeah, share my journey. And then
and
what's
favourite
my favorite
outfit.
outfit? Ooh, that I'm bringing to nationals or just my favorite competition outfit in general?
Let's go with favourite pageant outfit you've ever worn.
Ooh, that I've ever worn.
And if it's upcoming, don't tell us what it is because you probably want to keep it under
I was
wraps.
gonna say, I think it's upcoming. I think my national costume
Okay.
is probably going to take out my favorite
Okay.
because
Okay.
it's my first custom made piece. So I'm quite excited to wear it.
I can't remember who it was. I was watching someone who had sketched. it's funny because I've just seen Emily. So Emily here, Emily
Emily,
Egan.
we have the
Hello,
same
Em.
designer. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was watching one of your guys' stories because you both put up reels which had sort of shown the journey that you've had getting to the finals, and I can't remember if it was yours or Emily's, which showed us hand sketch of the. I think it was a national costume because it
It's, it's Emily.
had a. Okay, and I was looking at that going, God, that looks amazing. I do love the national costume part because it gives you a chance to be unique versus gown you go buy Sherry Hill or whatever it is. It still looks amazing, but it's a bit less individual. Em has said, "Go Danica, such a beautiful role model, sending love." Now you were both in my book, which is over there. I
Yeah.
can't reach it. But can you just tell the audience what happened with your copy of the book? That was rather unusual. And I do have a video of it. And I don't know if I can bring it up, but I don't know if anyone will believe it. So can you tell people what happened with your book?
So Amazon specially selected me to be a lucky winner of an upside down printed book.
Well, when you say upside down, can you tell people what you actually mean by upside down? Because when I
Okay,
heard that, I was like, what do you mean upside down?
so the the cover and the back and the front is correct, and then when you open it up, it is upside down. The writing is upside down, but also back to front. So the first page is the last page of the book, and then
Okay.
it goes
I
that way,
think
but it's
I
printed
think I
upside down. If
might
that
yeah, I
makes
think I
sense.
might be able to show people. You sent me a video of it. So let me just show the lovely people watching at home what Amazon decided to do to Danika's copy. I don't think it's anyone else in Australia. So here's Danika's one-off copy. So I can't believe they did this. So that title page is the right way round, and then after that, everything is upside down, and it literally starts with
Yeah,
the back page.
yeah.
It, I Yeah, look, I apologize for that. I mean, it does mean you
Not
have
your
a
fault
very
at all.
unique copy of the book. I don't know. I honestly don't know how that can happen because the whole thing about Amazon is it's automated. So I don't know. They must have just picked you as a lucky winner. There wasn't like a gold ticket in there or something, was there? Or some sort of secret
Oh,
message?
unfortunately not. No, would have been pretty cool though.
No. So you're about to head out in less than a week. And then do you have any particular expectations of yourself when you go in, like where you'd like to place, or are you just taking it as it comes?
Look, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have expectations. I absolutely have expectations. Um, I don't think there's anything wrong in saying that as well because
No.
it's okay to be confident. And I think a lot of people put that as a negative. I think a lot of people play down and say you can't be confident and you can't openly say you want to become the title holder. But I don't think
Hmm.
there's anything wrong with that. Um, yeah, I have little goals. My little goal obviously is to improve and be more confident on stage than what I was previously. I would
Hmm.
absolutely love to take home best in interview because that's always been my goal. And Emily just beat me to it in Galaxy. Um, but yes, I placed second runner up at IUM and then
Hmm.
first runner up at Galaxy. So I obviously want to do better this time around, which obviously means a title.
Yeah, there's not much. You haven't left yourself much wiggle room there, have you?
I know.
I want to
I
improve,
kind
and I've
of
come third and second, and I want to improve. What numbers are there left?
yes. Narrow that one
But
down.
But I mean, I agree with you. I think anyone who says you can't be confident or you shouldn't say that you want to win, I don't think they know what they're talking about. I mean, why else are you going? I mean, I do understand some people really do just go to, let's say, meet other people, or if you're traveling
Absolutely.
internationally, maybe to see another place. But I mean, still at the same time, you're going, you might as well go to win.
Absolutely.
Like, why not? What's wrong with
I mean,
saying you want to win?
yes. I mean, up until now, that's what I've always competed. Like I said, I never thought I'd place top 10. So I went for the experience.
Mm,
But it's now getting to that pointy end where I'm about to age out and I have a plan. I know what I want to do as a title holder. So why not throw all my eggs in one basket and go for it?
Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? So you say that you wanted to win, and if you don't, you don't. It doesn't make any difference that
Exactly.
way. Um, Mum has jumped on. Hi, my beautiful daughter. So proud of you.
Hello.
Whereabouts is Mum? Is she in WA as well?
Yes, she's only about 10 minutes down the road. I didn't move far.
Oh, oh, okay. Is her internet better than yours?
Yes, yes, we can talk about the internet.
I saw your internet speed, and I'm like, hmm, okay, we might have to
It's
do an audio
embarrassing.
only interview because that's
Hmm.
not going to be good enough for video.
It's embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie.
It's Australian internet. I deal with it every day. Now, Miss Australia is a bit unusual in that it has two titles up for grabs. You've got Miss Global. Now, am I going to get this wrong? The current title holder for Miss Global Australia is Michaela, right? And for
Yeah,
Intercontinental, it's Hannah. I sometimes get confused
correct.
between the. Okay, because Michaela was Intercontinental
She
previously,
was,
and
yes.
now she's got. Okay, all right. Do you have any inkling as to how they're going to pick who goes where? And do you have any? Do you have any preference, or have they not told you guys how they're going to choose who goes where?
No, they have told us. So they'll take the top two scorers
Yep.
and then they'll decide who they think is the best fit for the system. Because obviously the directors this year are Sophia and Charlotte. So they've both competed internationally for the system. So they know what the systems are looking for and they know who can best represent Australia in that system. So they'll take the top two and then decide themselves.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. And what are the actual? Because it's the first time Miss Australia pageant is actually running, not
Yeah,
global and intercontinental. They've been run previously, but it's first time under the
yeah.
Miss Australia pageants moniker.
Mhm.
So what are the actual segments of competition for you guys, and how long is it going for?
So it starts on the Wednesday and
Hmm.
it goes through to Saturday. So it's 4 days of competition. And then the fifth day is obviously for the winners' shoots and the breakfast and the contract signing.
Yeah.
They've kept the same competition. So it's still swimwear, evening wear, national costume, and interview.
Okay. All right. And it's just the Miss division, or is it Misses and Teen as well?
It's just Miss for this one, yes.
Okay. Any idea how many competitors there are in total?
I think there's 35 at the moment. Unfortunately, we have had a few girls pull out just because of the situation at the moment
Yeah,
and how it
you'd
is.
expect that.
That's just the environment we're in. But I think at the moment it's 35. So it's quite a lot of
That's a
girls.
that's a big turnout. That would have been bigger than
Yeah.
the last time you competed in Galaxy in the Miss division, I would assume. So that I'm happy to see that.
Yes. Would be. It's
That's
been
good.
good. It's great. There's so many new faces as well. So I think we're going to
Hmm.
start to see the new faces coming through for the Australian pageant systems.
You're making yourself sound old.
I am though.
Oh,
I'm
no
25.
way. Oh my God, that's so old. You're over the hill. Just give up, Danica. There's no point. 25. Jeez. 25 is a
It
new
is in the world
15.
of pageantry.
Not if I have my way. I'm one of my things that I have a real bugbear about is the whole age restriction. Because I mean, I was going to ask you how you know my podcast co-host Danielle because she is, and she keeps saying this, so I'm not divulging her age by any means, but she's 32. But she could easily compete in Miss and kick anyone's butt because she's so good at it. So I think the whole, age out at 26 or age out at 28, I'm like, I don't know why. I think that's a bit of a throwback. And honestly, I think someone who's a bit older can compete because someone such as you has had more life experience. I actually think that makes you a better title holder than, someone who's 15 and hasn't lived as much life as you. I'll get off my soapbox now. But how do you know my podcast co-host Danielle?
She's my stylist for Miss Australia pageants.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes.
And I'll just say this. I, as a tennis coach, I got to the point because I taught myself. I could look at someone hit one shot and I could tell you instantly, roughly, how good of a tennis player they were and what was good or bad about their shot. So I notice people who are that good. I have a very good friend, Emma Collingridge, who is that sort of way with walk. She can pick apart your walk from a million miles away and tell you immediately what you're doing right or wrong. And I was speaking to Danielle the other day, and she's like that with fashion. She literally dreams in like lookbooks, and she was showing me, and I can't divulge what it is, but I don't remember, so it's okay. But she was showing me her fashion choices for Galaxy International, and she was telling me all the little details about what went into picking it. I don't remember what she was saying. I was kind of only half paying attention, if I'm honest, because I'm a guy and I don't get this stuff. But
over
I've
the
looked
head.
at it and gone, it's amazing what she's picked out and the color schemes and everything. What's it been like working with Danielle?
I think since January I started working with her, and I'm so glad I did because I mean I studied fashion design back in the day, back when I was in high
Mm,
school. Um, so I have a somewhat of an eye for fashion, but she looked at my color scheme and she said, "You're kind of wearing the same colors in."
mm,
I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but
yeah, yeah.
she was like, "I want to see you in this color," and it was a color that I never wear, and I've started wearing it recently, and we've got another session on Sundays to go through all the final
Mm.
looks, and she's going to be so excited because I now have two or three outfits in this color, so she is going to be thrilled. But yes, we've definitely put in more color, or not just a specific color. She goes down to the
Mm.
tone of the color and to how it matches my eyes and my hair and my tan and the earrings and the shoes. Like she's phenomenal. Anyone looking for a stylist, highly recommend.
Yeah, yeah. As I said, she was showing me some of the color schemes, and the one that she picked for herself. When you see two colors that work really well together, and I said, "Oh, those two colors look really good together." And she said, "Yeah, because they're actually opposite on. I think it was on a color wheel. I'm not exactly sure."
Oh,
But it's like, "Oh, wow!" So yeah. She's very, very good at it. Um, I mean, I'm gonna imagine if you're watching this, guys, that you have your outfits picked. I certainly hope you do. But if you
please
need some
do.
last minute, yeah, if you need some last minute help, then you can look up Danielle. She's at the Pageant Stylist on Instagram. Um, and she's a good sort. She's over in the UK. If you do get in contact with her and you're wondering why she has a strange accent, it's because she's a Cockney from the UK. That's why she speaks the
Not
way
that
she does.
strange.
It's very
You can
strange. I
understand
never
her, like
understand.
you can understand her. You can.
No, no, I really, really can't. You should try the Scottish accent. Good luck
Yeah,
understanding
that
that. No, no. I had on the podcast this week, I had the most international episode I think I've ever had. I had an international queen from South Africa. I had an American teen, so from the US, and then Danielle, who's obviously in the UK, and then myself from
yeah.
Australia. I think we
Oh,
caught
wow.
all four
That's a
corners of the
good mix
globe, and
though.
some very interesting differences in accents. Speaking of which, and I will send this to Danielle because we keep having this argument; it's ongoing. So we talk about scones all the
I was like,
time.
this is fun
Okay.
thing.
Yes. Okay. So first off, I mean, do you eat scones? Because if you don't, this is not even worth asking.
Look, I don't eat scones anymore because I can't eat cream, but I am on your side,
Okay.
Adrian. I put the jam on first when I used to eat them.
She's not going to talk to you
I'm
on
I'm
Sunday.
I'm
She's going to
so
be
sorry.
so. You
She's gonna
don't
redo all my
realize how.
outfits. She's gonna be like, no.
Yeah, and screw you up. She's like we're play fighting, obviously, but she gets so worked up about. And she will send me like 10 pictures, going, "You see, the Queen did it this way. She did it this way. This is the right way of doing it." And it's like I am in the UK. I know how we do things. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm still gonna put my jam on first.
She
But
has a valid point. She really does. She is in the
no, she
UK,
doesn't.
but no, I definitely agree. Jam first.
I don't care if she has a valid point. I'm going to keep doing it the way I want to do it. Well, we've covered a lot of different grounds. We'll go over the final 10 questions, but before we do that, anyone that you would like to give a shout out to?
Shout out to all my fellow national contestants. I can't wait to see you all. I think it's 5 days now. Emily Egan, she has been a huge support system to me through preparation, and I just want to send her so much love because she's going through her own things right now. And all my WA girls, because we've come so close over the last few weeks. So we're nearly there. Border's looking good. We're gonna get to Queensland, no problem.
How many other WA girls are going, just out of interest?
There's four of us, so we're a small team this year. Normally there's quite a few WA girls, but we're small but mighty.
Yeah. What with 35 competing and only 4 WA girls, I wonder where the rest are coming from. Is it Queensland that has a big contingent?
A lot of Queensland and Sydney girls.
Okay, well, Sydney normally lags a little bit behind, so I'm glad to see they're punching above their weight for once. Anyway, let's go to the final 10 questions. I, honest to God, can't remember what you said last time. Do you? Do
I
you?
can't remember what I said either. No, I can remember
Okay, well,
one. That was it.
the questions are exactly the same. A lot might have changed in 2 years, but my final 10 questions have not. So let's go through this, and then I'll be interested to go back and watch your previous interview and see if any of the answers are the same. So, question 1, what is your favorite word?
Floof.
What?
So it's like a
Flu.
bougie. So floofy, floof. It's like a bougie way of saying fluffy. Yeah.
Did you make this word up yourself?
No, okay. So I don't know if you know, but I recently got a puppy, and I run his Instagram account. And because I'm running his
Oh,
Instagram
of course you
account,
run his
I have to talk like
Instagram
a
account. He
dog.
can't run his own Instagram account.
But I have to take on the dog's persona, so I have to talk like a dog, and I use the word floofy a lot instead of fluffy. And I like the word floofy.
Okay, talk like a dog. Let's see what we.
No, it
What
would just
what
be in
what
how I
voice do you put
comment on
on?
people's posts. Well, I don't put on a voice. It's just how you comment.
You sure you don't put on a voice? Are you sure you don't put on a silly voice when you're talking to your puppy?
When I talk to him, obviously, put on a very high pitched voice, like I'm talking to like a little baby. 'Cause he's my
Oh
baby.
my god.
I
You
wouldn't do
shit.
that on Instagram.
Dear. All right, question 2. What's your least favorite word?
I don't know. Probably the word no, which I know is a very common one. I know most people say no, but yeah, it's just got a negative tone to it. Don't like it.
Actually, no, comes in second place behind moist. Moist is by far and away the leading answer.
I haven't got a problem with that word. I don't know why.
I don't, but it seems that every other female in the world does, and I don't blame them. But yeah, moist, the most common answer. Question 3: in life, what gets you excited? What turns you on?
Ooh, at the moment, I love walks in general because I just love getting out and clearing my head and connecting or disconnecting. But at the moment, every night, because we've got an Australian Shepherd, so he's quite energetic, and my partner plays
Mhm.
football or soccer, if that's what you want to call it. But since he was a little baby, we've got him a little miniature football. So he plays football. So every day we take him to the park, and he gets so excited just chasing this ball, and it just brings me so much joy watching him. It just brings the biggest smile to my face, and it's like a little family time because it's just yeah. Yeah.
That is the thing I do love about dogs. You can be gone for 5 minutes, you come in, it's like you've been gone for 10 years. Cats are not like that. Cats, you're lucky if they look at you. So that is a good thing about. Doesn't he, she, it destroy the ball though?
Not really. Like we get, I think we only just replaced the ball, so he's 8 months nearly. Like
Right.
next week he's 8 months old, so we've only just replaced his ball. His tooth does get in it because he
Yeah,
bites really
that's what
hard
I
into
mean.
it, but we need it flatter anyway, because otherwise when we kick it, he like fully goes for it and he jumps for it as well, so it needs to be deflated a bit. Otherwise, we're just gonna knock the dog out. We don't want that.
Okay. All right. That was what turns you on. So, question for what turns you off?
Rude people, which I think was the same as my last one. But in particular, I'll make it more specific this time. Rude people on social media. I just think it's uncalled for. Just click off, keep swiping. There's just no need for it.
There are rude people on social media? Really? This
I
is
know,
news
it's
to
a
me.
surprise to me too.
Hmm. Gee, I haven't seen any of that at all in 2020. I don't know who you're following, but anyway. Question 5: what sound or noise do you love? And please don't say it's your
Well, this
puppy.
well, somewhat along the lines, baby
Okay.
animals. And I remember last time you made me do a baby animal, a
You
goat
did a baby
noise.
goat. I
Yes,
remember
I remember
that.
that. Yes.
Have you been working on your goat impression? I mean, you've grown more confident. You've done a lot of things. Has your baby goat impression gotten any better? It was pretty good
That is
last time,
one thing
actually.
that's said in the past. Hmm, yeah. Maybe don't go back and watch my previous interview, guys.
I was
Don't
just
do
going
that.
to say, now you have a really good reason to go back, not only to listen to Danika's story, but to hear her imitate a baby goat.
Mm,
Did that come up because I asked you what your favorite sound was and you said a baby goat?
I think so. It must have
All
been.
right.
Otherwise, I don't know why we were talking about baby goats.
Okay. So, guys, go back and watch Danika's interview, clip that part out, and just put it all over social, blow it up, viral, hashtag baby goat. No. Question 6. What sound or noise do you hate?
Ooh, what do I hate? I don't know. Probably. Ooh. So I used to work at a hotel up until the last year, and we used to have a beeping noise that would go off as like a warning that we were going to have the fire alarm go off. And that used to just give me so much anxiety. Like my heart used to just jump out of my chest because you don't want the fire alarm to go off. And still to my day, when I hear a beeping noise, I'm like, it just brings me flashbacks. So it scars me.
You had a beeping before the beeping of the fire alarm.
Yeah, so it would go into like a countdown. So you'd have like 30 seconds or like 2 minutes, 30 seconds, depending on how far along it was. And you had to run up to the room and check it and put it into isolate.
Okay. That seems like a lot of needless pressure, but anyway, moving on. Question 7. If you could have any one superpower, what would you pick and why?
Ooh, to be bilingual. I want to be able to speak all the different languages because I love to travel when COVID's over and
Oh,
just be able
okay.
to, yeah, I would just love
Okay.
to be able to just speak a different language and switch up conversations.
So you don't want to be bilingual, you want to be omnilingual. You want to speak all the languages.
Okay, well, I want to be that.
Well,
Yes,
you
all of
speak
them.
Canadian.
Um, no,
No. Canadian
I
is
don't speak
quite
French
like that.
Canadian.
No. Do you say about or do you say a boot?
I say about. I did come when I first came
Okay.
back from Canada. I did have a twang, but I'm pretty sure I've grown out of that now, so I think I'm fine.
Do you finish every sentence with a? How are you going
No,
today, eh? Apparently that no.
no.
Apparently that's what Canadians are famous for. All right. Let's move on before I embarrass myself further. Question 8. What job or occupation other than your own would you most like to attempt?
Like to attempt. Ooh. I'm currently in the pipeline of starting my own business, so I'd love to own my
Okay.
own business. That's something I'd love to do.
Very, very exciting. Question 9. What job would you definitely not like to attempt?
Ooh. Probably anything to do with working in a meat factory. I'd hate that. Couldn't do it.
Are you vegetarian?
I'm vegan. I'm one further.
Ah, then you and Danielle have slash had something in common because Danielle was a vegan for quite a long time. I
Oh,
think she's pescatarian now, and I used to be. Well, I wasn't just a vegan; I was a raw foodist, which is one further than vegan. Means you can't even
yeah.
cook anything. So I do understand. How long have you been vegan for? I can't remember.
Oh wow. How long? Coming up to 6 years now, I think.
Oh
I think six
wow,
years. It's been a
good
while.
for you. Yeah, good for you. Okay, final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Okay, so I remember my answer to this one last time, and it was very superficial. It was food related. Um, but this time I'm going to go something a bit deeper
Okay.
and just I'd want to ask what my purpose in life was, and I'd want to say, did I achieve it? I think we spend a lot of time wanting to know what our purpose is, and many people have either one or multiple purposes, but I'd like to know, did I achieve my purpose?
Okay. Yep, that sounds good. What was the answer you gave last time? I honestly can't remember.
I'd like him to like I think point me in the direction to the buffet or something like that.
You have changed over the last 2 years, haven't you? You've done a bit of growing and soul searching. You've gone from I want to know what my purpose in life is from I point me in the direction of the buffet. So
I'm a
you've
changed
done some
woman.
you've done some soul searching. Well, just out of interest, what have been, I guess, like some of the highlights and some of the challenges for you since we last spoke, just before we wrap up? Because obviously 2020 has been and continues to be an absolutely crazy, manic, unprecedented time, as the news likes to say. So, what have been some of the highlights and some of the challenges for you over the last 2 years?
Highlight absolutely representing Australia on the international stage. I don't think anything will compare to wearing your country across your chest and hearing them call Australia and knowing that you get a walkout for your
Mm,
country. That is just nothing compares to that. So that 100% is a highlight for me. Challenges is just self-growth, really. Just going from not believing in myself to now finally reaching that stage. But it's a journey. You don't just click your fingers and the next minute you're a confident individual. It takes time. So it's definitely been an uphill battle.
yeah, absolutely for all of us. And it's one that continues. So, just before we hang up, if you haven't followed Denika already, you can see her Instagram handle after her name at Denika.jasmine with a Z. Denika, where does the Jasmine come from? Is that a middle name?
It's my middle name, yes, it is.
Right. Okay. And the Kai's Aussie life, is that Floofy? Is that the Floofy puppy?
If you want to see how I talk dog, you can follow my dog on the
Hi,
medium.
I'm Kai. Oh my God, he's got his birthday date of birth there. Wow,
No
he
good
looks
dog.
so happy. Have you ever seen a dog look so happy?
He
And
definitely has a
he's the same
personality,
color
that
as
one.
that rusted windmill blades in the background. He's exactly the same color. He's blending in. Oh, how old is he? 8 months, you said?
8 months next week, yes.
And oh, this is the thing that always confounds me. I was out and about one time in Sydney before pre-pandemic, and there was this woman with this dog, and she said the dog had an Instagram account. Turns out that dog was some sort of Instagram celebrity and had like hundreds of thousands of followers. And it's just kind of sad when a dog has more Instagram clout than you do. It's a very
Yeah,
sobering wake-up call.
he has more followers than me.
I don't know what
I'm
that
just not
says
as
about
cute
our
as the dog.
civilization. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, well, Danica, that's round two. Thank you so much for your time. I know that you're super, super busy, but it's been great catching up.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast.
Yeah, well, it's done a few turns since we last spoke. I'll keep you on the line for just a second, so don't hang up just yet whilst I hang up with the audience. So thanks everyone for watching and submitting your questions, whether it's live or on the replay, and we will speak to you next time. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Just a reminder to you entrepreneurial types to come and join us at our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/the pageant boss. I'll see you inside and see you in the next episode.